on-duty homicide detective. Police are refusing to comment at this time.
The man who's coming for you can't be begged, bought, or reasoned with. He has no compassion, fear, or remorse. And when he catches up, I'll be the only thing standing between him and a bullet in your head.
You're a lunatic, you know that? You better fix this ass!
I want to make sure this goes exactly the way it should.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. This is going to be a fun night. We are talking to two amazing filmmakers, Craig Lobo of Panic Button Films and Luke Robinson. And we're going to talk about this amazing movie. I had the chance of seeing it. I cannot wait to talk to them. I'm not even going to waste any more time. Without further ado, we're going to bring them to the stage. Come on in. There they are. Welcome. Just fix it so that, there we go. Hi, Vanessa. Vanessa has joined. Hey, Vanessa. Thanks so much for joining. We're here talking with Craig Lobo and Luke Robinson of Panic Button Films, and we're going to talk about that amazing film, Dangerous Rumours. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining. Let us talk. First of all, how's your week been? What have you guys been up to?
It's like a blur. A blur.
That exciting or that busy?
Yeah, exciting, busy. We're just actually like in pre-production for a movie that is gonna be shooting tomorrow. We're literally going to camera tomorrow for it. So the last, not just this week, but the last 5 weeks has been just insane, like there's a lot of work that leads up to it. So yeah, it's been busy, but it's been good, and we're right on the threshold now, so it's very exciting to be going to be on set tomorrow.
I am very excited to talk about this film. So let's get into it. Dangerous Rumours. Okay, so I saw it, and I'm going to try my best not to give any spoilers. But I loved it. Okay. There, first of all, let me just say I'm a huge fan of thriller suspense movies, even though oftentimes I'll be going like this. But I absolutely love it. And I'm also an action junkie. So those three together for me is like heaven. So I enjoyed this movie. I didn't know what was going to happen next. And that was fun because I love that. And then your character, Luke, Malcolm, I was like, okay, I can't spoil it. So I just
no spoilers.
I want to say something, but if I say it, then I'll spoil it. But loved your character.
Thank you very much.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
He's a lovable guy.
Yes. I love the fact that it took place in Toronto, and I love the fact that you showed a lot of Toronto in the movie. Like even that big the big tower that says Toronto right around it. Not only that, I also noticed that there were things that were said, like Durham police and things like that. And I was like, Toronto. So I really love that you did that and made it authentically Toronto. I loved that. What else did I love? I loved the throwback to the 90s. I love seeing certain things that were like, oh yeah, the 90s, like the cell phone.
Answering machine.
Oh yeah, I remember that cell phone. That was like my first cell phone. So I was like, yep, that's from the 90s. So I kind of really liked that. That was a nice nostalgic feeling. I love the fact that the I guess what you call, not really the gangster, but the main beast in the movie was a woman. Christine was a beast. Okay. Yes. And I loved that. But anyway, let me ask you guys some questions because I've been talking about something I love. Um, what what really was the inspiration of doing this film? And I'm gonna ask you, Craig, because you wrote directed it. Who was your inspiration in the film world? Because I have an idea when I watched it, but I'm curious to hear if I'm right.
So the style and the tone of the film is very much influenced by uh, a lot of directors that I admire. Quentin Tarantino is one, but also the Coen brothers is another, and Martin Scorsese. So for me, this movie is like a combination of the three of those styles coming together. Like in the dialogue, it would be Tarantino, but in the gangster universe that the film has, that would be like a Scorsese film. And then the dark sense of humor and the extreme characters are things that you see in Coen Brothers movies. So for me, I would say it's a combination of those.
I definitely picked up on the Tarantino for sure. I was like, oh, this is definitely a Tarantino-esque type film, which I love. So yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna if I was right when I felt that way. So you just co-signed. I did pick up on the Scorsese though, but I definitely was like, oh, this is Tarantino all the way.
Yeah.
You know. And Luke, how did
Mhm.
you feel about, or what was it like starring in it or co-starring and producing? You had to wear two hats. What was that like?
I was really very lucky that on the days that I was acting, I wasn't asked to produce. And on the
Ah,
days that I was producing, I could focus solely on producing. So in terms of having to, split myself in half, it wasn't overly labor intensive. I was able to, I think that's really, really important. You hear about, really great actor, people who are actors and directors, and it takes a lot. It takes a great deal. So it was really, really, really helpful to be able to solely focus on, firstly, you know, developing the character to be able to assume the role of Malcolm. We did
Like a
uh,
six
I
weeks of
was going to say
rehearsal.
over a month of rehearsals. Myself and Lindsay, the actress who plays Christine, with Craig. So building the character, I was solely focused on that, as well as my shoot days. You know, I feel as though I was helping to move things along, but I wasn't necessarily wearing the producer's hat on the days that I was filming. But I was gonna say I feel like it was the it was the confidence that I was able to instill in Craig in my work ethic that he said, "Hey man, you know, we uh we need you in the producer seat."
Yeah, yeah. It's so like Luke said, Luke comes from a theater background. In terms of performance, that's his like pedigree. And for myself, I'm actually very I lean towards that as well. I'm all about preparation and rehearsals. I need, especially when a film is there's a central character or two characters that are so pivotal, right? The film is kind of way like relies on them so much that for me it's very important to rehearse to get down the accents because they're very they're really Luke does a great job in
yes,
where
he
his
does.
character's from and bringing that authenticity. So to nail that, to nail the chemistry between Lindsay and himself. So the rehearsal was a big thing to give me the confidence that when we got on set and we had very limited time,
Mhm.
like when we were filming it was all overnight. So because we would start at the opening of the movie, for those that, and this is not a spoiler, but just like the first third of the film all takes place at night,
Night. I noticed that.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's all night shoot. So we're starting shooting at 8 9 in the evening when the sun goes down, and we're not finishing until 6 in the morning when the sun comes up. And we did that for a week straight.
Wow.
And so, and at the time, I was actually working a corporate gig as well. So I would do the 7 or 8 till 6, and then I would go home, and then I would get changed, and I would go to work from 9 to 5. So I was only sleeping
Wow.
4 hours each day for a week. when we shot
Oh
this.
my gosh, you must have been like a walking zombie.
There's a the last day, the very last day after we wrapped, I had a very scary incident where the fatigue really set in on me. I'm not going to go into that, but yeah, like it does take a toll on you after a while, but luckily it was completely worth it because the performances they delivered were incredible. That universe feels so saturated because you're like in Toronto at night. You know,
Yeah,
it comes alive. Like the city just feels different. It feels dangerous, right? And it adds that darker layer to the characters too that they're portraying. So I
yes,
think it was
sure.
very important for us to do that, and I feel anyway that it does pay off to set the tone.
Definitely.
So tell the people that are joining now what the premise of this movie is.
Yeah, so you're looking at me.
Yeah, go for it, Mr. Director.
So basically the synopsis is that a young mother and her son are pursued by deadly assassins after they cross Toronto's notorious crime boss Jimmy Mad Dog Marconi, and yeah, essentially they go on the run, and it's a chase film. It's a chase film. It's a suspense film. It's a thriller, and you get to be introduced to all of the sort of nefarious characters from the criminal underworld that Jimmy and his, and Luke and all those like individuals, like the characters that come to life in the film. So yeah, that's what it's about.
And how long did it take to shoot it?
Wow.
Well, yeah, I would say like, so are you talking, so principal photography, if we're just talking about principal photography, we shot for 4 weeks. However, if you're talking about how long the movie took to get made from the time it was written to the time it actually got finished and in theaters, like we're talking 5 years.
Oh wow. Wow. And that's not uncommon though, right? Like I hear this a lot. Even in Hollywood, they were like, "Oh, it took 10 years to do this film," and I found myself saying, why? Like, why does it take so long? What are the elements? What are the challenges with getting a film, especially in Canada, getting a film done? And what are some of the challenges that you face?
So there's so many different moving parts, right? So I guess surface level, some of the first things you'd think about would be, okay, so you get a writer, they pen a script, and say the writer wants to direct as well. They shop the script around. Perhaps they get some funding to develop the script, but they don't have enough money. They don't get enough funding to do everything within the script. The budget's too small to be able to actually bring the script to life. So maybe they might have to, put it on the back burner for a couple of years, build up more money. Or perhaps they pen a script and they get the production backing, but the studio wants to make some changes. They love a lot of things, but there's a couple of things that they don't love so much. They're not willing to put their name behind. So they ask the writer to go back and do a rewrite. And I've heard some, like you were saying, there's some stories in Hollywood. I've heard stories where the first rendition of the script is vastly different from the finishing one. Like sometimes you hear like a child's movie can't be made as a child's movie. It has to have more of a stricter rating, or vice versa. Something meant to be a little bit more risque gets really softened up for a different audience. And I guess that is kind of dependent on who's going to be distributing and marketing the film as well. So that's a couple of things. Craig, can you think of anything else?
I mean, how long do you have? It's just like Luke said, it can be a number of factors. I was talking to a writer friend of mine who just got his script, or a script that he's working on with a director, optioned for a second year in a row by Elevation Pictures. So Elevation Pictures is one of the biggest Canadian distributors. Like they've released, so they recently released the Smashing Machine at TIFF, which has stars The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt,
um,
yeah.
I was actually I was lucky enough to be at the premiere. But they're a huge studio. But the thing is with his script is it's not a straightforward script. It's not like a traditional feel good, type of movie. It's a darker film. It's got some subject matter that's, maybe too much for certain people. So he wrote this script, or him and the director kind of like they co-wrote it. They worked on it together. And last year, so 1 year ago, they had put it forward to Elevation to say, can you finance this and let's get a movie made? And they read the script, but it was kind of like, well, we like it enough that we see potential, but we don't like it enough that we're going to go to camera right away. So what they do is they do an option. So basically they'll pay a certain fee to have exclusive rights to the script for 1 year. And in that 1 year, they tell the writer and the director, go back and make these changes. These are the changes we want to see. So they go back and they make the change or whatever, and they give it to them. And then they say, go back and make more changes or change this or that. And then a whole year goes by. And then at the end of the second year, they're like, so are you going to make it now? We've made all the changes. And they go, no, we're not making it yet. But we don't want to also give it away. So we're going to option you again. And this stuff kind of can happen for years. Like they could do 10 options and they could hold your script for a year. For 10 years if they so choose to. That's one way. That's one way that a script can or a movie can take long to develop in the studio system. With us and with our film, it was a little bit different because we tried to shop it around to studios, and they were, just speaking honestly, they didn't believe in the movie.
So how do you handle that? Like when you put all this work into this film, you feel like you've got a beautiful product, and then you just keep hearing no. How do you keep going, and how do you receive that? Because I know for me, when I know I've put in so much work, listen, rejection hurts. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Rejection hurts in every form of the word, or whatever circumstance, it hurts. So how do you get the motivation to just keep pressing on, and then finally, ultimately, it ends up at Amazon US? So like, how do we get there?
Honestly, this is going to sound very simple, but you have to believe in yourself. And you have to believe, you have to love what you're doing. This is an industry that if you don't love it, if you don't love what you do, you should not be in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the simple answer. I know there's more obviously that involves in that, but just that's true. That's the best advice I could give anybody who's starting out, who wants to make a movie, who's hearing that. And I'll let actually Luke answer this, because a better perspective, I always say this because I'm a writer and I'm a director, but Luke is an actor, and actors go through the rejection
10 times more,
100 times more. That is, so I think Luke can answer it from a different perspective, but it is the same challenge.
I was gonna say it's funny because the belief that's something that is just a recurring theme throughout life. You know what I mean? You got to believe in yourself. Nobody's going to believe in you more than yourself. Yeah. Right. And also something that I hear in other spheres with a mentor of mine that I really respect is the vision. You got to have the vision, and you have to believe in yourself, but you also have to believe in the vision. You've got to see it done before it's done, so that you can carry on moving towards it when it looks like it's not going to get done. So like Craig was saying, as an actor, shoot, I'll just use this year, for instance. I've had a really, really slow year in terms of acting. Months and months and months where it's been really, really dry. And in the past 2 months, I've just really had a real, a real upswing in firstly the amount of auditions, but also the amount of callbacks and the amount of bookings. I'm flying out to Vancouver next week to film something that I just found out about today.
That's great.
Thank you. I was on set last week. I was on set the week before. And it happens like that. But if I focused on the nose, I might not have gotten to this point in the year because it's we're in, what is it, the fourth quarter right now. If I didn't, firstly, I've got some experience that I can fall back on and say, hey, these things happen. There's a bit of a lull sometimes, but yeah, if I didn't have that experience, I would really have to just be believing in myself. And I guess that's kind of similar to when I first became a professional actor. Craig had mentioned that I started in community theater a long time ago. It feels like forever ago, but I started in community theater, and it was a great experience. I have some of my fondest memories of acting from the days when I was doing community theater, but what it did was it set me up for a humbling experience when I got my agent and became a professional actor, because I could count on 2 fingers the amount of auditions that I did as a community theater actor that I didn't get booked for. And one of them was because I didn't know they were holding auditions, and I just went and read cold, so I wasn't prepared. And the other one, they said they wanted to cast me, but the love interest was much older than myself, and they hadn't pictured it to seem that way. But they asked me to come back and audition for the next play they did, and I was cast in that. So I went into this acting thing thinking I'm nice, like I got something for you, listen, move over to
got knocked down,
has arrived, right? So I hear from a mutual friend of Craig's and my own. He introduces myself and Craig. We decide that we're going to work together. I get a call from somebody else who I had done a short film with in the past. He said he needed an actor. While I was doing that, somebody that was working on that short project said, hey, I'm doing this other project. Would you like to come and work on that? So I thought, hey, man, this is all just happening, and this is how it happens for me, right? So what would happen if I put some effort towards it when I got myself representation and really kind of threw my hat in the ring? Well, I did not book anything for the first 6 months of being a professional represented actor. And so that was a really humbling experience, a hugely humbling experience.
I can only imagine. I mean, I always say in this industry, you're unemployed after each job.
That's it.
So it's like you're an EI recipient after each job, right? It's like, let's just hope I can stretch this pay a little as long as I really put some elastic on it, I'm just going to go over to the comments. ATM International says, are they independent filmmakers? They are
100% independent.
And he
says,
you
know anybody we might be able to depend on?
You heard that ATM International. He's out there. Luke is asking if you know anyone. Vanessa says, hello, guest. So let's just get back to this movie. We have some new people that have come on, so I'm going to play the trailer again for everybody to get intrigued by this movie.
Let them see it.
A shooting just after midnight in Durham County has left 2 dead and 2 missing. Witnesses have identified a tan blue pickup truck leaving the scene at the time of the incident. The same blue pickup truck was seen at a triple homicide in Durham County, leaving 3 dead, including 1 on-duty homicide detective. Police are refusing to comment at this time.
The man who's coming for you can't be begged, bought, or reasoned with. He has no compassion, fear, or remorse. And when he catches up, I'll be the only thing standing between him and a bullet in your head.
You're a lunatic, you know that? You better fix this mess!
I want to make sure this goes exactly the way it should.
It is just so ominous. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to watch this. I have to watch this movie.
I got to tell you, like, I love the fact that you're playing the R-rated version of the trailer too.
Yes.
It's so much better, and it just like it really gets you pumped up.
Yes, I mean, you know, there are some guidelines. That
But it
you know,
gives that air of authenticity that people really know what to expect when they watch this movie, right?
Exactly.
You don't want to give them a watered down version of the trailer for them to go in and be shocked. We want them to go in thinking they know what they're going to see and then be shocked by not having prepared enough. You know what I mean? Not because
and I will say there were some surprises in that movie for me. There were some twists. I was like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen. So ATL International says that was a really good trailer.
Thank you very much.
It was. I really loved it. It got me. I hope you go watch it and then tell us what you think. So tell us all of the awards that this movie has won, because I know they've won a bunch of awards.
Yeah, so we won best feature at San Francisco last year in December, and we opened the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival. We were like playing opening weekend. That's an American festival, right, in Florida, and they have 40,000 people attend that festival every year.
Wow.
And we're a Canadian film. So it's very, very rare for a Canadian film to open an American festival, like to play right at that opening weekend spot. So that was a real pleasure, like being there and getting that opportunity, that platform. And obviously San Francisco as well to win. And then in Canada, we played theatrically as well. And we sold out every show. So every screening that we had in the theater was sold out. And yeah, it's like every person that watches it is very a similar reaction to kind of what you were saying. They were like, it's so much better than even like I could imagine, and it just felt it's like a real crowd pleaser, you know, like they really feel like they got, you know, what made them
their money's worth.
It really is. And I like you said, there were so many things that I loved about it. But why do you think you were able to get it to Amazon US first, as opposed, like, were you faced with challenges of getting it on the Canadian side?
It's just so our distributor is American. And I think I could talk about this. They won't mind me plugging them, but Indie Rights is our distributor, and they're an American distributor based out of Los Angeles. And they the reason why it goes on Amazon US first is because it's a bigger market, obviously. But the second thing is, in Canada, to play on Amazon Canada, we have more restrictions because of the bilingual languages. So you need to have like French, you know, captions and subtitles and audio, you know, all this other stuff. So it just takes a little bit longer to get there, but we are going to be on Amazon Canada very soon. So yeah, it will be available for people to watch here as well. And then a little bit down the line, we're actually going to expand internationally as well. So it will be available like overseas. And I think the thing I'm most excited about is the fact that we're gonna have like a physical media release, like a Blu-ray release, coming very soon in the next month. And that has the film that you see on Amazon, plus it's got like over an hour of bonus features. So like extras, behind the scenes stuff, like a commentary,
director's commentary over the whole film. There's there's deleted scenes.
There's an extended cut. So the film that's on Amazon is 96 minutes, and the Blu-ray has an extra 7 minutes in it. So it's like 7 minutes from the film that only the people that, you know, pick up that Blu-ray will be able to see. And it's amazing stuff. Like it's like fight scenes and other things that didn't that's not available for streaming.
One of my favorite fight scenes. And that's the thing. We couldn't leave it on the editing room floor.
Yeah.
So it had to be put into the director's cut. So if you want to see one of my favorite fight scenes from the whole film, and I did the fight choreo, then check out the
let me talk about those fight scenes. Those fight scenes were thick in this movie. And that's, you know, again, I'm an action junkie. This is where I live. You know, before we got on live, I was telling Craig that my favorite TV show of all time was 24. So I don't know if with Kiefer Sutherland, another Canadian actor,
I was gonna say,
who also was very intentional about getting a lot of Canadian actors on the show. And that was one thing I really loved. There were American actors as well, but he really was very intentional, and he was very intentional on naming streets in Toronto within the show, even though a lot of it was filmed in LA, but he still was like, he was like Dundas Street and John Street and things like that, which I thought was so cool. But anyway, I digress. I was just saying that I love fight scenes, and there were some major fight scenes in that show. And then some of the fight scenes that I was seeing with this movie was reminding me of the fight scenes in my all-time favorite show. So it was like I was getting the best of both worlds. True.
That is a compliment, a huge compliment. Thank you so much.
Amazing. And like I said, the character Christine, like, wow. So my question to you is, were a lot of the actors Canadian or majority Canadian or?
Yeah, I mean, so
I feel like all but one.
Yeah, well, so yeah, 90. I would say 90% of the cast is Canadian.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, pretty like Christine, Lindsay, Luke, Michael, who plays Jimmy, Robert Nolan. So Lindora is actually dual. She has American citizenship as well, I believe.
Yeah, but when she works in Canada, she's Canadian.
Yeah, yeah. So Lindora as well. But Fabian, who plays JF in the film, he actually is French, and he flew over from France to do this movie with us during COVID, by it way.
Oh,
so
wow.
No one was flying. Yeah.
Was he on quarantine after he landed?
It was a big deal. He flew across the ocean to come and do this movie with us, and he went back. He was only here for a week, but we got all of his scenes done, and we actually structured the shoot around his availability to make sure that he could get in and we could get everything with him. So yeah, majority of the 90% of the cast is Canadian. Yeah.
And all of the actors were really great in it. Honestly, like every single character. And I felt like the casting was really spot on. Like I can literally see that person being that person, you know? And that's what I loved about the trailer, because the trailer is intriguing, but when you watch the movie, it connects everything. It's like, oh, so that's Christine. Like, but in the trailer, you would never know Christine is who she is.
Well, that's the thing, right? I feel like movies today, one of the things I hate about watching movies today is you watch the trailer, you've seen it.
It gives it away. Yeah.
Like there's no surprise. You know every beat and everything that's going to happen and how it's going to end. And they give away too much. So when we were cutting the trailer, I specifically had a conversation with my editor saying, this is how we want to cut it. It's going to be more of a teaser rather than a full exposition of, you know, the plot and everything else. And everyone that watches the trailer like really loves it. Like it's they feel like it delivers exactly what it needs to get across when you're watching.
It really makes you want to see, because it doesn't give you a lot, but it gives you enough for you to be intrigued, to be like, okay, I need to see what is this reporter talking about? Who, you know, who died, like all of that stuff. You kind of just want to know. And I love the cars in the movie. See, I was telling you, I picked up on these little things. I was like, oh, look at that car. Because I'm a car person, Fast and Furious. Okay, let's just not even go there. But
The
again,
cars are characters.
Let's go there.
The cars are characters.
yeah, another one of my favorite series, because like I told you, I love fights, I love fast things, I love action, you know. So the cars, I'm a car lover. So when I was looking at the cars, I was like, oh my gosh, this is, and you're right, car are also characters.
Mhm.
So it was just, there was just so much good about this movie. And sometimes when you're watching certain movies, or I mean me anyway, I lose attention. Not this one. It's one of those movies where you have to keep watching. If you turn away or you get up and go get a drink, you're going to need to rewind because you missed something. Like, you really have to stay with it and keep watching so you can really get to know the characters and the plot and the twists and all of that. There was one scene that I had to rewind a couple of times just because I was like, oh, I want to hear it exactly what she said. And why did she do that? I really want it. And so I rewinded it, and then I rewinded it again. But then I tend to do that when I really love something. I need to watch it over again and then watch it over again. So yeah, it was a bit of that going on.
I'm curious. If you're able to, without any spoilers, is there any way you could let Craig and I know which scene?
Okay, so mom and son.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a fight scene with Christine and a man.
Okay.
And a character.
Oh, I know what she's talking about.
And then mom came and did what she needed to do. And then I was surprised that Christine did what she did. And then the dialogue between the two of them, I had to rewind again. And I'm like, what? And I rewinded it again. And then I watched it again. I was like, what? And then I rewinded it again. So I just felt like I have to see it another time, you know? So it was one of those things where it's like, that scene, I was like, why? And then there were some tender moments, you know, where you get to know Christine's character and kind of get an understanding of why she's the way she is. Like, and I don't want to say the thing that jumped out because I don't want to give it away, but it was something. And then her interactions with the young child, I was like, oh, okay, she's got some heart.
With some depth.
Yeah, hidden in plain sight type thing, but yes. So yeah, I really love the movie. I did.
Thank you.
What are some of the challenges that you faced making this movie?
Well, well, yeah, we could go back to how this conversation started, right? And it was about why does it take so long? And I think we mentioned, like, when I wrote the script, I showed it to people, I shopped it around, but at the time, I didn't have a name. I hadn't done anything, right? And so they don't know, if you don't have a name and you don't have a big track record of playing at these big festivals and winning awards, people are less inclined to want to invest in your project and give you that opportunity. Because they just don't feel like they look at the script and they go, well, it's a big gamble and, like, you know, it may not turn out good. Like, who is this guy? So yeah, really, like, people didn't really believe in the movie, and that's okay because I did. And I didn't stop trying. And luckily, there was an opportunity because I had some people, private investors. So we're talking about now we've exhausted the distributors and the studios that we're going to showing the film to. But there are some private investors who, you know, had my back and did believe in what I was capable of. And so they came to the table and they supported financially. And so we were able to make something through their backing. And also just for myself as well, I kind of positioned myself in a way that I always knew I wanted to do this, right? So I'm like, well, if I have to do it too, then I have to be in it just as much as they're in it. And so with all of these kind of things coming together, it was the perfect storm, to be honest with you. Like, it took a while, but after about a year or two, having written a script, we got the money together, and it just so happened that it came together at the perfect time when COVID hit. So COVID hit, and nobody was making movies. And so when you're making a movie, when no one's making movies, you can get a lot of things that usually cost a lot of money for less. And that really helped. And so we were able to shoot it for a budget. Honestly, like this movie cost, if you were to make it in the studio system, more than 10 times the budget that we made it for.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was like almost a blessing, COVID.
It's
in a sense. Well, you're trading 6 for half a dozen, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it came with its other challenges of shooting.
Right.
Right.
There's so many challenges that it brought up, but it helped us in that way.
Yeah.
And also the fact that because again, during that time, no one was making movies, the cast that we got, like we have an incredible cast. Like the cast that's in this movie are all superstars.
Yeah.
Like Lindora, who Luke mentioned earlier, she's on her third season. She's a recurring character, and they're on the third season of Sullivan's Crossing right now.
Wow.
Right. She's huge. Rye Barrett, who plays Joe, Baseball Joe in the film, he's doing the second, they're just filming right now their second part of In a Violent Nature. Like that's a big franchise that's taken off recently, so he's the lead in that. Robert Nolan, Michael Mullally, Luke, Lindsay, all of these even Fabian, like all of these incredible actors. Normally they would be booked on a lot of projects. Like it wouldn't be that easy to just get them all in the same film together, but because we were shooting at the time we were shooting, we were able to do that. Mm-hmm. And so that was a big benefit to us as well. And I had been developing relationships with all of these wonderful people for years. Like I knew Lindsay and Luke for years before we went and shot the movie. Mm-hmm. Same with Rye, same with Robert. Michael is an interesting story because Michael I only met like a few months before the film. Same with Lindora. And so they kind of came on right at the end. But pretty much for a lot of the other cast, I had always known them, and I always knew that I wanted to make a movie with them, and the specific characters were written for them. So when you say the casting is perfect, is because when I was writing for these people in mind.
You have these people in mind. I love that. Well, Vanessa said, I just watched the trailer. Where is this playing? OMG. I told you, I'm telling you, viewers, that trailer alone will get you. It is playing Amazon US and soon coming to Canada, right, guys?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. So I don't know where Vanessa's from, but if you're from the States, you could go watch it right now on Amazon, and it's going to be available on Amazon Canada very soon. So you'll be able to watch it there, and it is going to be on Tubi and like all of those other streaming places as well very soon. Indie Rights. If you check out Indie Rights, they're our distributor. They're the ones that are releasing the film, and so it's gonna be everywhere. But this is the initial first launch was on Amazon US.
We need to get it on Netflix too.
Give us a call.
I'm speaking it into existence. We need it on Netflix.
Cool.
If anyone from Netflix is listening, give us a call.
Exactly. Do you ever feel like when you see a movie, as filmmakers, as producers, as writers and directors and actors, do you ever sometimes look at some movies and you wonder how did this get where it is? Like, I mean, I know I'm not even in, like, I don't have that skill, but I know I can watch certain movies and I'll be like, how? Like, what am I missing here? Like, even on Tubi or even on some of the other, I'll be like, I'm so confused. Like, do you guys ever feel that way? And do you ever like just want to like throw your TV out the window when you see something like that? Knowing the kind of product you produce?
It's I don't want to. More common than you know. It's more common than you know. Yeah.
He's being polite. Yes. It sucks. It sucks. There's a lot of shitty movies out there that should never have been made, and those people, they got money and they blew that money on making something that wasn't good. And honestly, this I'm just being blunt now. I'm not trying to I'm going to be honest here. The system is broken.
Yeah.
The
What system is
broken.
that?
Just the way that films get made.
Okay.
It's broken. You have these giant companies like Amazon and Netflix, where the people are in charge all the way at the top, where they greenlight the movie. They're not movie people; they're business people. So they know nothing about movies. When they read a script, first of all, they don't read scripts, so they're not reading the script. When they're writing that check for $50 million, they haven't read the script. And so you've got this system that they're like, oh, what boxes does your movie check? Oh, it has this message in it about politics. It has this message in it about social justice. It has this message about something else. Okay, great. Here's $50 million. But they don't actually care whether the script of the movie is good, like whether it makes cinematic sense, it's going to resonate with people, it's going to be surprising and engaged. They don't care. So that system is broken, and that's why you get a lot of garbage out there. And unfortunately, filmmakers who are doing great work, like excellent work, do not have the opportunities to really show their talent and what people should be seeing.
I think that.
Do you feel like race plays a part in that as well?
I was gonna say I was gonna add on to what Craig says in terms of, I think that's kind of like the corporate side, but also like from the artistic perspective, I think people have really some people have lost focus on the fact that we're here telling stories, and they're not telling compelling stories, and they're not telling engaging stories. And like Craig said, on the corporate side, there's these boxes of, a political message, a social justice message, of this, that, and the other. But I also think that, there's kind of excitement pandering. I think that there is, trend pandering, that kind of stuff, where there's all this stuff that's thrown into the script, even from the writer's level, that they think people want to see because it's exciting, but it doesn't necessarily push a story forward. And so where race could come into that would be a focus or a lack of focus on stories that don't come from the predominant social group that we see in the society in which we live. People of colored people, black people, brown people, other colored people around the world.
Whatever.
Absolutely. We've all got stories, whether they be contemporary stories about what's going on in our lives now, whether they be historic stories of what happened to us when we came to this country, or what was going on with us in the countries from which we came. We've all got histories, we've all got stories, and they're really important to tell for so many reasons, for inclusion, but also for just because the more we know about the people that we share this planet with, and even when we share this immediate space with, whether it be the community that you find yourself living in, the more we know these people, the more comfortable we can be with these people, the more we can respect these people, the more we can know these people. So I think it's incredibly important that these stories from other backgrounds get told. And I do think that there's a lack of focus. There's a huge lack of focus on stories that don't come from a European, Eurocentric perspective.
Also, I find and I feel like some directors and writers, whatever, are partly to blame, but there's just always this stereotypical role when it comes to a Black person there. Like when you think about shows like Empire, for example, or Power, and I just refuse to subscribe to those shows. And then also from that end, and then you come to the Black history, and it's always around the slavery and this and that, where we need more storytelling that talks about the positive sides and the triumphs and the riches and the intelligence and I feel like that too. There's a lot. It's very top heavy on that kind of film and storytelling, or the Black person dies first, and it's just, there's a lot of that. And I wish there was less of that, and we sort of would tip the scale over to showing other sides of.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I 100% couldn't agree more. Like you said, you don't subscribe to those shows. I don't even watch those shows. I believe I think Terrence Howard and Taraji was on one. I don't know if they're still playing characters on those or on one of those shows, but yeah, I don't watch those types of shows either. And I think it's likely for a very similar reason. So to speak to the other side of stories, and like I was mentioning, perhaps they come from history and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm sure that there's somebody out here that's going to say that's a great idea. We should make that movie. And I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to ask you for the list of guests you're having here. But I have a story that I want to tell. I want a story that I want to tell, and it's a Canadian story, but it's the story of a Canadian Black man, and it happens in the 1800s. And it's a story of a Canadian Black man who is building bridges of race relations, and one of the most inspiring things that the whole entire story, in my opinion, is inspiring, but one of the most inspiring things that I read about this gentleman upon his passing was that he was not a political he wasn't a political person. He wasn't even a political activist, even though he was building bridges and race relations. But he had one of the largest funerals in the history of the province that he lived in to the time to that date. And, political figures did turn up, and dignitaries, and he was well loved by his community, and he's remembered well in the community that he lived. So I really, really want to tell that man's story. And I just don't talk about it very often, because every time I say his name, it pops up somewhere that somebody knows about him. Somebody's talking about him. So I got to beat them to the punch, and we got to make this film. But yeah.
See, those are the kinds of things I like to. That's the kind of thing I want to watch.
That's
something like that.
That's it.
And what the thing is, like, the studios and the system, the way they are built today, is they don't want to make original stories. They don't want to do that because there's no built-in market. They want to make stories about, there's a book about this. Great, there's already a market. Let's make it a movie. Oh, you had part 1. Great, let's make part 2 and 3. Oh, like it's an action here, a Marvel franchise or whatever. Great, here's $1 billion. Here's $1 billion to make one movie. You know what I mean? Like, that is crazy. Yeah. Think about how many stories you could tell and original things, and you're wasting it on this one thing. But it's just because they care about money. Movies. Why I fell in love with movies growing up was because they were an art form. Like, I learned about society and culture and human beings and relationships and places. Like, I fell in love with New York, like watching, like a great filmmaker, like Woody Allen, who represented New York and where he was from, and all of his stories took place there, and he wrote about it. And that is what makes those movies special. It's because there's the heart of that person in it that's telling it. Like, look how passionate Luke is about the story that he's talking about. Can you imagine when you watch that movie how good it's going to be? Because the guy that wants to make it cares so much. He's so invested.
Exactly. I love, like, those are the kinds of movies I like. Like, if I'm not watching a suspense, thriller, action, I'm watching something like what you just described. Because
Emma, when I get the chance to make this film, I promise you, it will not disappoint. When I get the chance to make this film, mark my words, you're gonna love it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she's going to get a call.
She'll get many calls, many a call, but she'll love every call she gets.
And you could call me from that phone in Dangerous Rumors. Call me from that phone. Call me. Vanessa said she just rented it and she's watching it right after this stream. Yay,
Vanessa. Thank you. You're the best. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Vanessa. Make sure you drop in the comment field what you thought of it so we can share it.
Shoot, and, give us a review on Amazon. Let the people know. Let the people know.
It's a great film. Honestly, it's a great. I really loved it. But I'm going to ask you both, each one of you, to tell everybody that's watching why they should watch this movie.
You gotta, yeah.
I mean, shoot. Okay, so we got to do that shameless self-promotion at the moment. Is that what we've been called to do? Listen. This film will take you on a journey. Firstly, this film will take you on a journey. You're gonna love the cat and mouse. You're gonna love the chase scenes. You're gonna love the fight scenes. You're gonna love my scenes. All right. So if you love suspense, if you love action, if you love a good, like I said, if you love a good chase scene and a good chase story, if you love a film that's gonna keep you on the edge of your seat, biting at your fingernails, Dangerous Rumours is the film for you. 100%. Do not walk, run.
There you go. That's what can I say after that? That's hard to top, but no, I mean everything Luke said. And look, like I said, this movie has won awards at every festival it's played at. We sold out every show, so this is a crowd pleaser. Like this is a movie that people love, and they want to watch it over. That's the biggest comment we get, Emma.
I'll be watching it again.
That's the biggest comment after every screening and everything show that we've seen. People are like, I almost feel like I need to watch it again. Like I want to watch it again right away because there's so much going on in the movie that like you can't absorb in the first time. And those for me personally, those are my favorite movies. The movies that I'm like, oh, I want to go watch that again. And I get different things of it the second time I see it. Yeah. So that is another
reason. That is what I was going to say. I know when I watch it again, I'm going to pick up on something I didn't pick up on the first time, which that's why for me, when it comes to movies like this, I can watch it 100 times. I promise you, I will not, like, I'll keep watching it. Like I have a very addictive personality to this kind of film. Not in general, but when it comes to something I really love, like this genre, it's like I can't get enough of it. I mean, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't, my vice is this kind of film. Thriller, suspense, like I'm like addicted to it. So I know I'm gonna watch it again for sure.
Well, let me ask you a question, Emma. Again, without any spoilers, but just in general, what was your favorite like scene or moment in the film?
Good question.
So I loved. Well, there was a few scenes. There was the scene with the little boy that I really loved. I felt like it was a moment where I was like, are we gonna see the softer side of things? For a lack of better word, I'm trying not to. So I loved that. I loved the end. Believe it or not, the way it ended, I loved. And it left me feeling like there needed to be a sequel. Ooh. Just because of the way it ended, it's like I want to know, like I want a sequel. It left me wanting more, and that's what I love about movies, when you leave me hanging like that. And I felt like I was somewhat hanging, so I was like, oh, I want to know what happened inside there, like what really happened, and like I know part of what happened because it's show, but I don't know what happened after she left. So I was like, I need a sequel. So that I love the end. And Vanessa agrees with me. She said she loves a mixture of these genres. She said it's like life for her. So I think we have a super fan already that hasn't even watched it yet, but we already have a super fan. I also loved the scene with Mom, Son, and Christine the Beast. Right. I loved that scene there. I love the fight scenes. Love every fight scene. Every single fight scene I loved. I love the acting. I thought the acting was very natural. Everybody was really good. You could tell they really understood the assignment and came prepared. I felt that because sometimes you watch movies and I'll be like, oh, like the acting is like killing me. It's like so painful. I'm watching this movie. I was like, I'm really trying to hang in with you. I'm really trying to support this movie, but oh my gosh, like I'm dying right now. So it's like, and I can't. I quit. So you know, it's so I really loved the acting. And like I said, I loved the scenes where Toronto was really prevalent and I could recognize certain parts of Toronto and stuff like that. There were so many scenes. There were so many. But off the top, and then I loved the beginning with Malcolm's scene.
Right.
I really loved the Malcolm scene because I feel like that really set the stage for it gave me an introduction to Christine as well. It's like, oh, so you're that girl, you know. So I really liked the beginning. I loved Malcolm. I loved I'm like calling you Malcolm. Malcolm. I really loved your scene, Malcolm.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's really
That's
good.
Awesome. That's awesome. I wanted to ask, you were saying that you love the fight scenes. Now,
yeah,
that's near and dear to my heart. So, I mean, I was really lucky to firstly, I was really lucky to have Craig ask me if I would lend a hand with the fight scenes and choreograph. But Craig had a vision of the fight choreography in his mind. A lot of it was written out, how he had kind of visualized it, how we wanted to see it play out. So I just kind of stepped in, read it over, and said, okay, how do we bring this to life within the space? What are the beats? And then how do I get these movements out of the actors' bodies and performed safely and convincingly? So I guess that last word, convincingly, is what I want to ask you about. You said you loved all the fight scenes. Now, I was working with actors who didn't necessarily have any combat experience, whether it be in like stage combat or combat for film, or even if they had done like any martial art or combat sport or anything like that. They didn't really have that presence. So firstly, Craig and I, worked out the choreography. Then I had to teach the choreography to the actors, but then I had to draw out the realism, because it can be like a dance when you're learning it to the beats, and you step here, swing your arm, duck underneath, stand back up, give your facial expression, because we're still acting. You still got to be in character while you're remembering the beats that you're supposed to do. So that's another depth, another level to learning fight choreography. But how do you feel from what you saw portrayed by the actors? Did it really feel, I think what Craig was going for was raw, gritty, realistic, but also
very like brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Was it did they draw you in with that? Did you see Christine in her fight scenes and go, yeah, and the other people that had fight scenes and really draw you in?
And it was real in the sense of, okay, we're looking at a young woman who is half the size of a larger man. And you look at the fight scenes and you want to make sure it's realistic, right? Yeah. And it definitely was, because she wasn't always untouched, I mean? So, yes. So I thought they were very realistic. The definitely the Tarantino effect was in there with with the splattering of stuff. I'm trying not to give it away, but
you're doing really well.
It's in the trailer. It's okay.
You're doing really well.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So what you see in the trailer, it reminded me of Kill Bill. There was like a Kill Bill element to it. Yeah, with the splattering of blood and all of that, but it wasn't over the top. It was, you know what I mean? And even if it was, it felt right for what, the scene that was being portrayed, right? And the whole essence of the film. So for me, I felt like the fight scenes were I loved the fight scenes. Loved them. Because again, it reminded me of my favorite show of all time. I feel like they're going to have to give me some kind of reward, because I keep that's like 20 years old, but I'm still watching it like it just came out last week. But it reminded me so much of that. Like I was just, I love it. I literally cannot wait for hubby to see it, because this is our jam right here. This is, listen, I'm telling everybody that's watching right now, you need to run and see this film. I'm not even joking. Like, it is so good. It's so good. And so, yes, the short answer to your hey, Scarlett H just came on. Hey, Scarlett. Vanessa, thank you so much for the super sticker. Yes, thank you. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, so I love the fight scenes. And so anybody that's watching, if you're into fight scenes, if you're into thriller, suspense, if you're into twists and turns, things that you wouldn't think happened, and the person that you thought was this ends up being that, and you know, it's a really beautiful game of cat and mouse.
Yeah.
I just, you know, and it's one of those, I said it earlier, it's one of those movies that you really do not go anywhere. Just keep watching. Don't even turn around and look away. Like, stay with it. And then
get your popcorn, get your candy bar,
get it all. Don't leave unless if you're leaving. Pause. Don't let it keep going. You don't want to miss a minute, because if you miss a minute, you're going to have to go back because you're missing pivotal moments within the movie. So, and this goes from somebody that's an action suspense junkie. I know you gotta stick with it, and I love that because it forces you to sit and watch it. You know, so this was good. I'm gonna play the trailer again because we got more new people that have come on. I can't get enough of that trailer. So you know, for selfish reasons and for everybody else to see it, I'm playing it again. Everyone,
tell us what you think. Give us a comment.
Tell us what you think.
A shooting just after midnight in Durham County has left 2 dead and 2 missing. Witnesses have identified a tan blue pickup truck leaving the scene at the time of the incident. The same blue pickup truck was seen at a triple homicide in Durham County, leaving 3 dead, including 1 on-duty homicide detective. Police are refusing to comment at this time.
The man who's coming for you can't be begged, bought, or reasoned with. He has no compassion, fear, or remorse. And when he catches up, I'll be the only thing standing between him and a bullet in your head.
You're a lunatic, you know that? You better fix this ass!
I want to make sure this goes exactly the way it should.
And do you know that last like breath at the end? I was like, oh, you had me at. And look at what Scarlett said. Wow. I'm telling
Thank you, Scarlett.
Scarlett, thank you so much.
You gotta check it out though. The trailer is only this much.
If you're saying wow with the trailer, go watch the movie. Go watch the movie, and here is the beautiful poster for the movie. And then we have Luke Robinson is right here. He's one of the characters in the movie.
That's Malcolm Taylor.
That's Malcolm Taylor. So you know you want to watch, and Malcolm Taylor kind of sets the stage too.
That's right.
So
that's really how one of the selling points that Craig brought to me when we were discussing the script. You know, he said, you know, this is a really important role. This is like it's a really important role because it sets the tone for the film, but it also introduces the world that we're playing in, the world that we're living in.
Exactly.
He really sets the tone, sets the backdrop. He even introduces characters like Jimmy. You know, the mystery character of the fox is first alluded to through the conversation that Malcolm has with Christine. You know, so he you know, like you were saying, you know, the questions that you have and the answers that are unfolded later on, he kind of puts a lot of these questions into your mind. Wait a second, who's Jimmy? What's a fox? You know, and then
Exactly.
as the
And
story
that's why I say you
unfolds,
got to stick with it.
that
And
exactly you can't miss a beat.
so
Can't
Scarlett
miss a
wants
beat.
to know, where's this showing? Was this at TIFF? Well, I think it should be at TIFF personally. That's
Well-
just my humble opinion. But Scarlett, it's on Amazon US, and she said it looks action packed. Yeah,
It's definitely action
You are not wrong.
suspense, thriller, you know, all of the things that you just, for me, like all the things I look for in a film anyway. You know,
It's funny, Scarlett, actually, to answer, she brings up a good point, but that's how Emma and I actually met, was because I was at TIFF for the film last year, and Emma was doing a panel, and then we spoke about the film at TIFF. So we were at TIFF last year, and that's how we met.
yes. And so she said, "Sorry, what's the name of the film?" It's called Dangerous Rumors. I'm gonna put the poster here. Here you go, Scarlett. Dangerous Rumors, Amazon US. And it's amazing. Amazing
I think
film.
it's a nice poster. It looks like a nice poster.
The poster is good. You know, I was gonna I have every intentions on my swag, rocking my swag.
Oh, well, look, we got someone here that's
Look at that. Luke is wearing the swag. Yes,
You gotta represent.
yes, sir.
You gotta represent.
Yes, I will be representing.
So if Emma, can you throw up the poster? Is that possible? You throw up the poster?
Absolutely.
I think if you can see me here, we got the likeness of Jimmy right there in the poster, as you can see. So it's a lift from the poster there.
Yeah, I see Jimmy.
And you know what? We got to talk about Jimmy for a second, because if people don't know, so Jimmy is played by Michael Mullally in the film. And Michael is an actor who has such a rich history and experience. Michael has been acting for over 30 years.
You got to call him a veteran actor at that point.
More than a veteran. He's a legend, because
Absolutely.
Michael was in The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese. So he's in that film. He's actually in the scene with DiCaprio and Cate Blanchett and a number of other very big movie stars. And Michael's also, worked with David Cronenberg as a very famous Canadian filmmaker. And I personally feel that I was very blessed to work with someone like that. And Michael is, because he comes from that background, he's a true veteran, a true professional. He forced me to raise my game. Like,
nice.
He was so intense about the character, and he lived and breathed that character that
he played it so well. He really did.
So Michael was so into like the headspace of Jimmy that he would email. So leading up to the shoot, before we went to camera, I would wake up in the morning at like 6 o'clock, and I would have emails from Michael in character as Jimmy.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious!
And
so he was so method.
100%.
Yeah.
And when I'd read the email, it'd be like, I can't believe they thought they could cross Jimmy like this. They're going to end up in the bottom of barrel. Who do these people think that they are? You know, and he was so into it. And on set too, he really didn't sway from that character. Like if you approached him and you said Michael, you wouldn't get a response.
Oh, wow.
You know, you would have to call him Jimmy.
He was all the way method.
When interacting with Michael on set while he was Jimmy, as I said, I wasn't acting when I was there in a producing capacity. And any day that Michael was acting, I was there in a producing capacity. My scenes had been shot months before. So I'm there as Luke Robinson, producer, and Jimmy is speaking to me, calling me Malcolm, treating me like I work for him.
So he's making you be method as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a method producer, I seem.
Yeah. Well, Scarlett wants to know, do you have a website promoting the film?
Yeah, but just so panicbuttonfilms.com,
Mhm.
and we have our film up there. But not only that, we have other, like the next couple of films that we're working on as well. So yeah, you can check out the film there. You get a little bit more of it, but if you just want to go watch it, Amazon is the place.
Yeah.
Like that's where it's available. You get to see the whole thing. It's not available on the website to watch. It's available on Amazon. And yeah, I would say like it's only $2 or $3, so you could easily rent it. And and hit us up. Like we're on Instagram, both me and Luke. Like follow us, hit us up, tell us what you
That
think.
was my closing. I was going to say, tell everybody where they can find you.
Would you like to go first?
Yeah. So Panic Button Films. That's the Instagram page for our production company. We make commercials. We make movies. We make all kinds of stuff. And if you want to follow me and Luke, so Craig Lobo. It's just my name, Craig Lobo. Maybe 07 on Instagram. So you could follow me. And Luke, I'll let you go.
For Instagram, you can follow me. I've got a couple. Luke Robinson _ Panic Button, or Mr. Luke Robinson. You can find me on Facebook, Luke Robinson. Yeah.
And hit us up. Like, tell us what you actually think of the movie. If you watched it, just let us know. We actually want to. So we're the kind of people that we don't make movies for a studio or for some guy with a check. Like, we're making movies that we love and what we think that people will love too. Like, we're making movies for the people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're the kind of filmmakers that are interested in hearing what you think, in getting your feedback, and having that conversation with you. And that's kind of, you know what, and I will say this too, Emma, like, it's so funny how when you believe in yourself, right, and you go through those challenges and you come out the other side, how opportunities open up for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing, because now,
and I'm a living testimony of that myself. So I totally can relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
It was so hard to get that movie made. It took so long, but now, because we've shown that we can do it and we do it well, and we have a great track record, we've made multiple films, people come to us now and they're like, hey, oh, so what are you working on next? You know what I mean? Like, oh, but let us know, like, send us that script, or can we come to set, and things like this. So you've just got to believe in yourself. If you're someone that wants to be a writer, an actor, a director, whatever it is, it doesn't even matter if it's in the film industry. It could be something else, but you have to believe in yourself and you have to put in the work. Like, that's like me and Luke, we worked on this, man, like 10 years.
And you know what? It shows. The work shows. It really does.
Thank
you. It's like I said before, I'm a movie person. I don't even have cable. I spend I'm a hardcore streamer. Give me movies and I'm happy. That's my thing. So I literally, because I've been like this for decades, if a movie is bad, I'm literally like dying inside, because I love film so much. So for me, I really want to enjoy the experience and I try to hang in there. But I can tell it was lazy work. It was just not, or maybe it's just the budget wasn't there. But my thing is, don't do it. Like, just don't do it. Right. Don't put it out there, So I can tell that you guys put in the work with this film. Like, I 100% can tell. And Scarlett wants to know, are you US based? We're in Canada, Scarlett. But you can watch the movie on the US side. She also said, when you put the energy out there, it comes back. Amen to that.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Scarlett, just so you know, the first place that the movie actually premiered was in the US. It premiered at the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival. So I was there. like with the cast and some of the like producers, and we were there in Fort Lauderdale. That was the first place the movie was shown. It had a great reaction, like the American audience. And Emma, this is like the most amazing thing. The American audience loves this movie more than Canadian audiences.
And why do you think, again, we're back to this? I mean, I know we talked about it, but why do you think that is?
I think it's kind of the obvious cultural difference, and I'm not American, so I can't speak. I'm just gonna have to say from how it looks from looking downwards over the border, it looks as though, the excitement of a gangster film, I find that I would even say, like, culturally, like, Americans glorify even a good villain, like if you think about some of the Wild West characters, like Billy the Kid and Jesse James, bad men, but they're American folk heroes. So I guess in America there's the gray area where I guess I don't know if it would be a statute of limitation. The time passes by and we kind of gloss over the negative actions of a person if they did something notable, you know what I mean, something big enough to be remembered for, whether it be positive or maybe even on the other side of the law. So I think that that ability to celebrate a villain or celebrate a gangster can kind of it lends itself to the American ethos, if I have that right. So I think that a gangster film, and there's so many. Think about some of the classic gangster films. They're American films. So I think that's kind of I think that kind of speaks to that preference.
So what Luke was saying, like, a lot of these great American classics, like The Godfather, right? Goodfellas, Casino, right? They're American stories, right? But they're more than American stories because they're underdog stories. They're stories about people you underestimate, and then those people come back and show you what they're really made of, and that movie takes you by surprise, right? And it hooks you, it draws you in because you could see yourself as that person. Like you can see yourself as Michael Corleone or Ray Liotta in as a kid in the opening of Goodfellas, where he says, ever since I was little, all I wanted to be was a gangster. And then the movie goes on and shows you his past. So our movie is very much like that. It's an underdog story. It's a story about someone you underestimate, but it's also about anti-heroes. Like we're not a cookie cutter movie. We don't fit in that vibe. And Canadian, I think the problem is, I don't know if it's a problem, but personally, Canadians are very soft-spoken. They're too polite. They want to be very PC, and they always want to like walk the line, right? Like just toe a straight line and make movies that are, like friendly and please and thank you. But if you come out with a movie that has balls and is not willing to like, bow to any of those things, then they're afraid of it. And truthfully, people were afraid of our movie. That's really what I believe. And all when we, went around to the Canadian festivals, they didn't want to show it because they were afraid. But the biggest American festivals took us, and we won San Francisco for the best film. So it's like, that says it all. I think this is like movies very much for the American audience. And I think Canadian audiences will love it. Like they will love it. It's just the people in charge of programming who are like, this is what we want Canada to be and we want Canadians to see. They don't want you to see this movie. But Canadian audiences will love this movie because it represents them as well. So
right. And Scarlett said, why is it that it's got to make it big in the US and then Canada will recognize it? That's what happened with Keanu. That's happened to Keanu Reeves. He had to leave Canada to make it in the US. Well, I'll tell you what, Scarlett, it's not only Keanu Reeves. There's many of them, And then Vanessa said, that's because America is full of gangsters from the beginning up until now.
Well, and that's like, to be honest, that's why that's part of the story that I wanted to tell in this film, like with those characters. I love characters who go against the grain, who don't toe the line. Like, the government says, do it this way, and everybody bows and does it that way. That's not who I am, and that's not how I was raised.
Yeah.
right? I was raised, you can make your own path in the world. Stand up for what you
Same.
believe in. And if someone's trying to take something from you that you're rightfully entitled to, then fight for it. And every single person in this movie fights for what they believe in. Everyone, Jimmy, Christine, Malcolm, Kate, they fight for it. They stick their necks. They're willing to die for what they believe in. And that's why I think that's the common denominator in our movie, in The Godfather, in Casino,
Yeah, they're
Goodfellas, even
fearless.
Tarantino movies. Like those characters are willing to die for what they believe in. And that's what our movie is. That's what our movie represents. And honestly, the way we made it, that's how we made it. We were willing to die, like literally to bleed for this movie.
And do you know there was another element of the movie that I really liked is like there that you set the stage, like with giving us an idea of okay where we are. I'm trying not to ruin it for anybody, but you set the stage before the next scene, you know, and I really enjoyed that. Again, it reminded me of my favorite television show. Oh my gosh, because you know it'll say the following takes place between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. You know,
Right.
and then there's an element there that tells you this is where we're at and this is the time of day, and like it's just I'm trying not to ruin it.
Well, you don't have to. You can talk. We talked about it before we came on, but the fact that the movie takes place in the 90s is you know that's not a spoiler.
No.
It's something that was very important to me because that we're trying to capture what the 90s felt like.
Yeah.
Right. It was open and it was wild and it was free. Like I love the 90s. They're my favorite decade. And I wanted really to paint that universe and that kind of lifestyle in this movie, like without limits and borders and controls and cameras and all the shit that we have now that controls us. You know, like the 90s weren't like that. And this movie, because it takes place, we took a lot of trouble to set the period in the 90s. It costs more money. Wardrobe, props, cars, set deck.
I can only imagine. Yeah.
Like you're talking about what you have to get to show it, but then you also can't show a lot of stuff that, like if you're driving down the street, you can't show cars that are you can't shoot it today. So it's like it was so much more costly and challenging to set it in the 90s, but it was important. It was an important part of the tone and the universe. So we did it. We took that trouble. We sacrificed, we spent the money, whatever it was, but I think the movie feels the way that it feels because we did that.
Yes, for sure. And Scarlett says, so when you're doing your casting, do you like to cast against type? That's a good question.
So for myself, I'll use Lindora as an example. Lindora plays Kate in the film. And if you guys go check Lindora out, you know, on IMDb and stuff, she's very big. Like I think I mentioned earlier, she's on her third season of Sullivan's Crossing right now. And but she plays a very light character, like a funny, light character in that show. She's done a bunch of movies as well. Like some of them are Disney movies, some are Hallmark movies. Again, playing very light characters. When I saw Lindora, like when she read for the part, she had only done commercials. Like she hadn't done all this stuff before. We were her first film. Like that was her first big role is this movie, Dangerous Rumours. And she was reading it, and she, again, all you could see if you looked her up was these positive, bubbly commercials. But I saw something in her, and I was like, she can go. There's so much more that she's not exploring.
Yeah.
That depth, that darkness, that character that Kate goes through in the film, and what she has to endure and bring out. And I saw that in Lindora, and we cast her. So we cast her against type. Like of all of what's out there about her, nobody would be like, oh, well, cast her as this character. They'd be like, no, cast her in a romantic role or something lighthearted or funny. But we did the opposite. We cast her in something dark.
And she delivered.
She shines. So yeah, I think Lindora would be a great example of casting against type. But also you gotta, when you're casting, and this is for me, I like to think about an actor's range. And I think Lindsay is the perfect example of somebody who runs the gauntlet in this movie. There is no, she goes from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum. And
killed it.
That's
I want her to be my BFF. Like, honestly, like, that's how I felt about her. I loved her in it. She was great. Really, she was. She was great. And
we gotta give a shout out to Lindsay for sure. Like 100%. Even the fight scenes,
I was gonna say that might even be,
So I have a request. I think that when it does get to Amazon Canada, I feel like we have to have some kind of, I don't know, some sort of viewing party or something. I'm just some theater in Toronto, and have some sort of launch viewing event. And it could be a ticket. I'm like literally talking to the audience, okay? And everybody can tell me if they're down for this. Where, it's a ticketed event, like somebody who's going to buy a ticket to see a movie, and you come in and as many of the actors involved can be there, and there could be a whole QA session afterward, and, like a little off-TIFF type thing.
If we got the support, if the
people want it.
That's it.
If the people want it and the people are willing to come out, we'll make it happen.
I think it should happen. I personally think it should. There was a movie that I went out to see called The Life Coach. I don't know if you guys heard about that movie that came out earlier this year. It's called The Life Coach. And they did the same thing. They were going to different theaters around Ontario, and they ended up branching out. And I think this movie and The Life Coach are the two movies, Canadian-based, Canadian actors, Canadian. She's Nigerian. The writer, director, producer is a Nigerian woman. Beautiful movie. This one, same thing. So that's a conversation we can have.
Yeah,
definitely.
And see, Scarlett agrees. She said, I like a premiere party. You see? We already got one person that's down for it. There you go.
Bring your friends.
Yes, bring your friends. Come out and see. I will help with that, because I think we should do it. I do.
Oh yeah, Emma's got the hookup.
That's what's up.
Yes. So, any final words?
First, thank you so much. Thank you so much for opening your platform, for allowing us to come and speak with you, chop it up a little bit,
pleasure.
Engage with your audience, ramble on about something that both Craig and I are really passionate about. And, Emma, like I said, once again, thank you so much for the continued support, opening up your platforms and speaking with people that are in your community and just really bringing us onto the inside and helping us out. Helping us bring this to people's attention, let them know where they can find it.
Yeah, we're very, very, very grateful. Again, I want to say that it's so wonderful to have met under the circumstances that we met, because I feel like it's just been the most rewarding, relationship, and like the fact that we met a year ago for the movie, and now we're here again it's like we constantly keep it constantly keeps giving. So yeah, I'm just very grateful to have met you, and you're just a real person, truly like a real person. So
listen, right back at you. You guys are real ones in the sea of other ones. So I'm with you. I am with you. And it was serendipitous. That's the way I look at it. Everything worked out in God's perfect timing. Everything kind of is aligned. And then, I was introduced to Luke, and I'm just saying, we need a party now. Like, now we need a release party. I'm putting it out throwing it out in the universe. I'm going to put a survey up if I have to. I want everybody to tell me, should there be a party for Dangerous Rumors? We need a release party.
I love releasing films and I love parties. I love it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm sure we can get some actors out for it too.
Let's do it.
Yes. And Vanessa said she's so excited to watch now. And Scarlett said, congratulations, Craig and Luke. Popcorn,
so much.
champagne bottle,
Yes.
congratulatory, what's this?
Yes.
Yeah, those emojis and well, wait. I'm
Let
just
her know that we're giving the prayer hands emoji.
There you go. There it is. Congratulations.
Thank you, Scarlett, and Vanessa.
Yeah.
And for everyone else, for your audiences watching too, like just go out and rent the movie on Amazon and rate it. Give us a rating on Amazon. You know, it really helps. It makes a big difference. You wouldn't think so, but these things, they do make a big difference. So please go out and rate the movie. And yeah, that will just help more people see it. So,
and like Craig said, you know, it's not, it costs way less than going to the theater. That's for sure. So, you know, you can get
$3, you know,
yeah,
for like
you've got tiers. If you want super high def, it's like $4.99. If you want a high def, it's it's the best spent money. Okay, so it is you know, you're in the comfort of your home and you get to watch this wonderful movie. Vanessa says, bye everyone, good evening to you. We'll be rating.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Vanessa.
Appreciate
you. Thank you. Oh, that's great. And thank you guys. And again, I say, we want a release party. It's time. It's time for a release party. It's time to start planning it.
Let's do it.
And let's do it. Let's do it. Am I
seeing you Sunday? Are you gonna be on set?
I just got to get my pooch straightened out, and then I will be there. But I'm still waiting to find out what time. So
no, you could. Well, we're open. Like whenever you want, you come by.
Well, I think I'll send you the email that I got. Yeah. So yeah, but yes, my plan is to be there.
Okay, great.
Because I really want to experience the whole ins and outs of you know, the makings of film.
Yeah,
you know,
you're gonna get a behind the scenes tour.
Yeah, BTS. Yeah. So, this has been fun. Thank you so much, guys, for taking this. I know you're busy. You guys are booked, busy, and blessed. So thank you for giving me an hour and 37 minutes of your time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
definitely our pleasure. Definitely our pleasure.
Everybody, go watch it. Dangerous Rumors. Right now, it's out on Amazon, and I'm gonna close off with the trailer one more time. Bye, everyone.
A shooting just after midnight in Durham County has left 2 dead and 2 missing. Witnesses have identified a tan blue pickup truck leaving the scene at the time of the incident. The same blue pickup truck was seen at a triple homicide in Durham County, leaving 3 dead, including 1 on-duty homicide detective. Police are refusing to comment at this time.
The man who's coming for you can't be begged, bought, or reasoned with. He has no compassion, fear, or remorse. And when he catches up, I'll be the only thing standing between him and a bullet in your head.
You're a lunatic, you know that? You better fix his ass!
I want to make sure this goes exactly the way it should.